Instagram stories are one of the most potent nurturing tools out there. And what if I told you there's a psychological trigger sequence that turns viewers into obsessed buyers using just 3 Instagram stories? And here's what's crazy. My clients pay me thousands of dollars to apply these same strategies into their businesses. And every single 8-figure entrepreneur out there is using this exact strategy secretly that I call the story domination trinity, to break down this exact conversion architecture that has generated millions for my clients. The same strategy that costs thousands to access. Let's get into it. So, here we are in front of our document. So who am I? So who am I to tell you what to do? To teach all of this to you? Well, the results talk for themselves. Right in front of us are the results that me and my team have generated for our clients in the last 3 months. We have generated over 1,000 leads for the two of our most important clients, and they have combined gotten over 300 appointments. These numbers speak for themselves. You know, using this using this strategy alone, not using this strategy alone, but a bunch of other strategies that we have applied for our clients at Meetify. So, so let us begin, right? What exactly are you doing wrong currently? Like, what is wrong with your current stories, right? Well, you treat stories like, they are for granted, right? And your stories look like this. Want to make more money. This is just so simple. They come across such stories, your prospects, your followers come across such stories like a million times every day, all day long. So, what exactly makes your stories stand out? Your stories are conventional, everyone's doing the same, they don't stand out, and people are simply fed up. And in this video, we are going to change exactly that. So, moving forward, now, before I begin, the step zero is branding and trust as it's written right in front of us, right? And what this means is, that I can't build a personality, that is your job. And I'll make more videos about this in the future, but the core thought here is that people buy from the people they trust, right? Now, there are a billion coaches like you out there. Yes, you are knowledgeable, but they are knowledgeable as well. Well, then what is it that makes you stand out? Well, it's your personality. It's the credibility that you can achieve through your personal brand. So to follow all of these steps, you cannot be someone with like 800 followers whom people don't even trust, right? And they don't just give a single flying fuck about your personality or who you are, or your identity, right? So amplifying your identity is step zero through your branding, through your personal brand, and essentially building trust, right? So if you don't have this, don't watch the video further, right? Because it's of no use to you, right? Now, moving forward, let's begin with the actual source, right? What exactly is the problem that we have $1 billion blind spot right in front of us? Coaches like you, business owners like you, agency owners like you, and like myself, we have $1 billion blind spot that no one is talking about, and it is Instagram stories. Instagram stories are one of the most, if not the most, potent nurturing engine on planet Earth for business owners like ourselves. And there are more or less 500 million people consuming Instagram stories every single day. That, my friends, is more eyeballs than Super Bowl, the biggest, sports event in your country, in the USA, or if used for somewhere else. And the point here is that you get 15 seconds of their undivided attention. And by there, I mean your ICP, your prospect, someone who will pay you thousands of dollars to buy your services. 15 seconds of undivided attention, and this video is about getting the most out of it. So, the difference between a broke entrepreneur and a 7-figure entrepreneur is strategic story sequencing. Sequencing your stories in a way that sells, that amplifies your product, right? So the solution to this problem, is the story trinity framework. Yes, that is what I like to call it. A a neuroscience backed framework sequence that hijacks attention and converts viewers into buyers. Now, this, my friends, is not something that, I just found somewhere or something like that. But it is something that we have developed, and people like Iman Ghazi are using it as well. Yes, we have made observations as well. But the point is that these strategies have been developed through core storytelling techniques, right? That are developed to get people hooked, right? And we have just, filtered them out, diluted them to use them into businesses like ours to make more money simply, right? To get more eyes onto our brands, right? So, what is this story trinity framework? Let's get into it, right? So, as I said, you need to have a pre-established account and you are uploading stories, you know how important they are. So as I said that you need to like have a pre-established, account, a personal brand on Instagram. That is the bare minimum. That is step zero. As I said, if you don't have it, please do not watch the video because it's of no use to you, right? But now, let's assume you have the account. Like I'm talking to you, right? You have the account. You have a personal brand. Now, how do we, upload stories that make millions for us? Well, the first story is the attention hijacker. It's basically a fancy name for a hook, right? And I, named it in this fancy way so that you don't forget it, right? So, forget about hooks. We're talking about attention hijackers. Literally hijacking their attention. This is your scroll stopping, thumb freezing, and like holy crap, I need to see this. I need to see what's next opener. The psychology behind this is that you are triggering what neuroscientists call the curiosity gap, creating an information void their brain is desperate to fill. Now, right in front of us, we have an example of a friend. He has an Instagram account known as the Viral Video Club. Up on Instagram, he teaches people how to grow your Instagram, accounts and stuff like that. So, like, who better than a pioneer himself, right? So, what our friend here has done in the first story, he has followed the same framework as me, right? So, in the first story, he's written, right, like a very, very intriguing hook, which is, like vanity metrics don't mean shit. The harsh truth is, that is it. Like the harsh truth is, it's literally a cliffhanger right here. As I've written, we have the hook test, we have the hook text, right? And a high quality background picture of him. That is a non-negotiable as well, right? You need to have these pictures of yourself. These build credibility. That you're not using a random picture off of the internet, right? And then, something that is like 10 steps ahead of us, he has a proof. He has this story that he uploaded like yesterday and people gave in. They gave their consent. That is what he's basically, conveying here. Proof that the person who's viewing the story chose it themselves. Now, all of this is more than enough to hijack our prospect's attention. This is exactly what our friend has done here, right? I'm giving this example so that you understand the whole thing better, right? Now, some examples of attention hijackers, right in front of us, the $10,000 mistake 90% of business owners make on Instagram. And then this dot, 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 so that you can, elaborate more about this in the next story, right? Why your dream clients are ignoring you, right? It's not what you think. Again, we hijack their attention. The weird psychological trick that made me $47,000 in 30 days. This is so specific and so, like, such a cliffhanger that people cannot help themselves from being hooked, from, letting their attention hijacked, basically. That is how powerful this is. And this, my friends, is like a very integral step in the whole, three-story framework. So you need to follow this carefully. If you did not understand it, watch it once again, right? Now, the second story is known as the value bomb. This is where amateurs lose and professionals win. Story 2 isn't just providing value, it's delivering what I call a strategic value bomb. The framework is basically to give them a piece of intelligence so valuable they feel guilty not taking action. Simple. right? So again, our friend is back, right? What he has done in this story right in front of us, it's genius. It's more than what we could ask for, right? It's a little different, yes, indeed. But again, I did not have a conversation with him, right? My job is to just break down what he has done. So, what the story essentially says is he has a picture of himself where a person is recording him, and he has written, like, doing this, that is a person recording him, should always result in this. And he has a cash emoji. So, it's basically what he's saying is creating content should always result in making money, right? And if it's not, there's two potential solutions. Then he is agitating the prospect, the viewer, for a solution. So, one, he has an intriguing background, an amazing concept, an amazing copy. He's telling a story as if, and he is agitating the viewer for a solution, so that he has no other option but to, click on to the next story, to move on to the next story. And this is a little different from our concept indeed, but you get the point here, right? Now, some million dollar examples of our value bomb here are, one is like, here's the exact DM template that got me 47 qualified leads in 48 hours. The three-word phrase that turns skeptics into buyers. Steal this. Why I charge $5,000 for something my competitors gave away for free. These are literally mind-blowing value bombs. So, this is the second story, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the third story, it's known as the conversion catalyst. Again, one of the most integral parts of this whole framework. This is where money is made or lost. Most entrepreneurs think CTA is saying, call to action is basically saying, DM me. Well, that's amateur hour. You need what I call a conversion catalyst, a psychologically crafted command that feels like an opportunity, not an ask. It's authoritative. It's what makes people buy because they consider that you are a master at what you do. Now, again, our friend here, what he has done, number one, he has an amazing background picture, the same as the first one, okay, and he has an amazing, mind blowing copy. But let's take a look at it again. Why doesn't he have a link here, link like you do? Well, the reason for that is that he makes millions. You don't, right? It's just reverse engineered here. Like everyone knows it by now. You should just literally hire me and solve this problem. But anyways, moving forward. Now, why doesn't he have a link? Well, the reason is to keep them on the platform. Instagram loves when people are, on their own platform. It promotes your story. It gives it more time. And that is exactly what he has done. Reply with solved, and these solutions are yours. Like, again, I must say, I'm an amazing copy, but reply with solved. Such an amazing CTA. People will DM him and then he will use his automation, ManyChat or whatever to send them the links. So his story has not been sabotaged because he doesn't know the basics. That Instagram loves when you keep people on their platform. So keep this in mind. Never put a link. Use whatever way you prefer, but keep the person on the platform. Right? And moving forward, that is it. The next step is selling in the DMs. Now, again, that is your job to do, not mine. I will make a video about this further down the line. But for now, that is it for the three-story framework, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this whole thing, what it essentially leads to is the profit multiplier effect. Now, here's why this framework is financially lethal. It's not just about one conversation, it's about creating what I call the profit multiplier effect. And how exactly? Well, because of this Trinity sequence right in front of us, right? Now, psychology. What is the psychological implication of this? The first story hijacks the attention, it stops the scroll, gets you the attention. The second story, it builds authority, positions you as the expert. And the third story, it catalyzes conversions, it turns viewers into buyers. Yes, nurturing the audience that you have. And maybe the person doesn't buy the first time, right? Maybe not the second time either. But they will buy it because they know that you're selling something so valuable. And again, I repeat this. You don't do this every day, alright? Maybe once a month, twice a month, thrice a month. But not more than that. Because the person will see right through your strategies, and that is something we don't want, guys, right? So that is it for our strategy. But the most important part of the video is that you have been looking for such frameworks for such a long time, right? And you can see it. I have this strategy right in front of me. I broke it down so simply, which simply means that I know what I'm doing here, right? And this is just one of the strategies that I apply for my clients at my agency alongside my team. One of the hundreds of strategies that we apply into our clients' projects, right? So if you want to make more money by creating content, by having such crazy strategies applied to your content engine, to your accounts, well, click on the first link in my description, book a meeting with us, and we will ask you the right questions and find a solution for you for absolutely free. And if you like the solution, we can apply it for you as well. That will be it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. I hope, and I know, I believe this video helped you. Thank you.